Élisabeth Louise Vigée Le Brun stands as France's final great portraitist, and one of the most famous to ever be. A prodigy nurtured under her father's tutelage, she began painting professionally at the age of 14. Ambitious and independent, she ascended to the pinnacle of her craft, securing access to the highest levels of power and becoming the appointed portraitist to Queen Marie-Antoinette. In her life, she would create over 660 portraits. From her strong connections with the royal court, she was compelled to go into exile during the French Revolution. Initially expecting this exile to last just 6 months, it ultimately stretched to 13 years, leading her to all the royal courts of Europe. She'll live in Italy, Austria, England, and Russia, a friend to the rich and powerful, and the greatest artists of her time. She will be praised in all the courts and art academies across Europe. Her fate is that of a talented and independent woman who succeeded in blending success with fortune. As she will recount in her memoirs, before the revolution, women ruled. The revolution dethroned them. Élisabeth Louise Vigée was born in Paris in 1755 and was the daughter of a French pastel portraitist. In her memoirs, she recalls her early love for drawing, admitting that she would doodle on everything within reach, including her own and her schoolmates' notebooks. Her father, Louis Vigée, a devoted supporter of her artistic inclinations, encouraged her by giving her access to his studio and materials. At the age of 5, Élisabeth was sent to a convent for her education, a customary practice for girls of her social standing during the 18th century. After 6 years, she returned home to live with her parents and younger brother, Etienne. Her mother worked as a hairdresser, which connected the family with wig makers and their affluent clientele. Recognizing Élisabeth's talent, her father began formally training her in art upon her return from the convent. However, tragedy struck when Élisabeth was 12, as her father passed away, leaving the family emotionally shattered and financially insecure. To cope with their newfound challenges, Élisabeth's mother remarried a jeweler within a year of her husband's death. This marriage was met with resentment from both Élisabeth and Etienne, as it brought financial strain and unhappiness to the family. Despite these hardships, Élisabeth embarked on painting commissions to support her family, demonstrating remarkable resilience and skill as a young artist. Early training. She was incredibly talented, both socially and artistically, gaining recognition at a young age despite receiving limited formal training beyond what her father provided. In her memoirs, she mentions receiving encouragement from fellow artists she'd encountered at her father's studio. Her father emphasized the importance of building a strong artistic and intellectual network, a principle she followed by forming friendships with acclaimed landscapists Claude Joseph Vernet and Hubert Robert, who offered guidance and companionship. To complement her informal training, Vigée frequently visited the Louvre, then home to the Royal Academy of Painting and Sculpture, to study the works of the old masters, attend the Salon exhibitions, and explore the royal art collection. She sketched from plaster casts and copied pieces by Italian and Flemish masters, expressing a particular admiration for artists like Rubens, Rembrandt, Raphael, and Van Dyck. These endeavors refined her skills and expanded her artistic vision. At just 17, Élisabeth Vigée had already established herself as a professional artist, receiving portrait commissions from a diverse clientele beyond her immediate social circle. However, in 1774, her studio faced temporary closure by officials for accepting commissions without paying guild dues. To navigate this obstacle, Vigée applied to and was admitted to the prestigious Academy of Saint-Luc at the age of 19, an institution where her father had once been a member. Unlike the Royal Academy, which was less receptive to women, the Academy of Saint-Luc offered greater opportunities for female artists. In 1776, Élisabeth Vigée married Jean-Baptiste Le Brun, a prominent art dealer, a union strongly endorsed by her mother. This marriage opened doors for Élisabeth, granting her access to influential art collections and important social connections. Initially, the marriage was beneficial for her career and also welcomed her beloved daughter, Jean-Lucie Louise Le Brun, affectionately called Julie or Burnett. Despite maintaining contact throughout their lives, the marriage ultimately became largely unhappy, partly due to Jean-Baptiste's gambling habits, which often squandered Élisabeth's earnings. At the age of 23, Vigée Le Brun received her first state commission to paint Marie-Antoinette, the Queen of France, for the Queen's mother, Empress Maria Theresa of Austria, in 1778. Prior to this, both the Queen and her mother had been dissatisfied with previous portraits of Marie Antoinette. Vigée Le Brun's flattering portrait showcased the young queen adorned in opulent attire, impressing both the Queen and the Empress. This success marked the beginning of an enduring relationship between the artist and Marie Antoinette. Over the next decade, Vigée Le Brun painted 2 official portraits and around 30 documented portraits of Marie Antoinette and her children. Despite the social norms suggesting otherwise, the fact that Vigée Le Brun and Marie Antoinette were exactly the same age might have mattered to the Queen. During the years of painting sessions, they shared significant life events. Both were in their childbearing years, both were mothers, and both experienced the loss of a child. Throughout her career, Vigée Le Brun was renowned for her ability to establish a comfortable atmosphere for her clients. In her memoirs, she recalls engaging in conversation and even singing with Marie Antoinette during their numerous sittings, underscoring the genuine connection between artist and queen. In 1783, Vigée Le Brun's entry into the French Royal Academy of Painting and Sculpture was facilitated by royal intervention. The academy, which limited female enrollment to 4 students at a time, faced resistance from its director, who opposed her admission due to her husband's involvement in the art trade, an activity barred by the academy's regulations. However, with royal backing, she overcame these hurdles and secured her position in the esteemed institution. Mature period. Throughout the following decade, Élisabeth enjoyed unparalleled success within the French royal court. In addition to numerous portraits of the Queen, she also depicted various members of the royal family and aristocracy. From her admission in 1784 until the onset of the Revolution in 1789, Vigée Le Brun contributed approximately 50 paintings, primarily portraits, to the annual royal salons. Actively involved in court affairs, she hosted gatherings at her home during the 1780s, where she entertained aristocrats and fellow artists, including the well-known Jacques-Louis David. Despite being renowned for commanding the highest fees for portraits in France, Vigée Le Brun maintained a friendly and respectful relationship despite the potential for rivalry between them. As the political landscape in France shifted towards revolution, Vigée Le Brun's position as the official portrait painter to the Queen transformed from an honor to a burden. The events of October 5, 1789, marked by a bread riot in Paris, followed by the royal family's flight from Versailles, underscored the escalating tensions. The revolution fractured French society, with fractions divided between loyalty to the monarchy and support for revolutionary ideals. Notably, Vigée Le Brun and David found themselves on opposite ends of this ideological spectrum. As a staunch supporter of the Ancien regime, Vigée Le Brun felt compelled to flee France as the French Revolution unfolded. Departing Paris on the same day as the royal family's departure from Versailles, she embarked on a journey to Italy incognito, accompanied by her daughter and governess, relying on limited resources for their travels. Upon arriving in Italy, Vigée wasted no time in establishing her studio and returning to her lifelong passion for portrait painting. Now, not only did she paint to support herself, but also to provide for her daughter. Despite the drastically changed circumstances, she swiftly regained her reputation as a sought-after portraitist among aristocratic and ruling families, both in Italy and beyond. Although separated from the Queen indefinitely, Vigée Le Brun remained unwaveringly devoted to Marie-Antoinette throughout her life. In her memoirs, she cherished the memories of the Queen's kindness, ensuring that the bond between artist and monarch endured beyond the tumult of revolutionary upheaval. During her time in Italy, Madame Le Brun took full advantage of the opportunity to immerse herself in the study of renowned artworks, a traditional practice known as the Grand Tour. Observers noted her remarkable courage in forging a new path for herself, leveraging her existing connections in France while cultivating new ones abroad. Her journey began in Florence, where she made a significant contribution to the Uffizi collection by adding her self-portrait, solidifying her status among Europe's esteemed artists and asserting her identity as a woman painter, actively engaged in her craft. Throughout her stay in Italy, Madame Le Brun found patrons among influential figures, such as Queen Maria Caroline of Naples, sister to Marie Antoinette. The Queen, renowned for her support of the arts, had previously commissioned a portrait from the esteemed painter Angelica Kauffmann in 1783, a figure whom Madame Le Brun also encountered during her time in Rome. These connections and commissions bolstered her reputation and provided avenues for further artistic growth and recognition. From Italy, Madame Le Brun and her daughter journeyed to Austria, where her growing fame had already preceded her, largely due to her association with Marie Antoinette, a connection that proved invaluable. During her 3-year stay, from 1792 to 1795, she was warmly welcomed by her Austrian patrons, whose generosity she gratefully acknowledged in her memoirs. Reflecting on her time in Vienna, she noted the ease and contentment among the people, and found much to delight the eye in the vibrant city. Vienna also marked the beginning of her relationship with several Russian clients, most notably Count Paul Andreevich Shuvalov, whose patronage sparked her interest in traveling to St. Petersburg, encouraged by her close friend Razumovsky, the Russian ambassador to the court of Vienna. Madame Le Brun embarked on the journey assured of Catherine the Great's patronage and promised numerous commissions, as detailed in Isle Biscoff's article. After a 3-month journey, Vigée Le Brun arrived in the Russian capital, where Catherine the Great had extended hospitality to numerous French exiles following the outbreak of the French Revolution. The Russian monarch had modeled much of her court after the refined French aristocracy, adopting their tastes in arts, music, fashion, and language, favoring French over her native tongue. During this time, the fashion trends in St. Petersburg mirrored those of France, with the controversial chemise dress associated with Marie-Antoinette becoming fashionable. Vigée Le Brun was carrying French taste, but she was also following it. She was moving within the sphere of French culture, which she embodied. In this environment, Vigée thrived within the Russian court, where her artistic talent continued to command high prices for her work. Élisabeth and her daughter remained in the welcoming atmosphere of the Russian court for 6 years. However, during this period, the once close relationship between mother and daughter began to strain. Julie, now a young woman, fell in love with a secretary to the director of the Imperial Theaters of St. Petersburg, a union that her mother disapproved of, despite her father's endorsement through written correspondence. This disagreement irreversibly changed their relationship. When Vigée Le Brun left Russia in 1801 to return to France, her daughter chose to stay behind. The silence between them persisted for nearly 2 decades. Throughout the tumultuous years of the French Revolution, Vigée Le Brun's decision to go into self-imposed exile proved wise. However, it came with consequences. In 1792, her name was added to the official list of émigrés, resulting in the confiscation of her property by the state, and she was declared legally deceased, like others who had fled France. In 1793, her estranged husband attempted to petition for her return to France, receiving support from 255 artists. However, the request was rejected by the authorities. Shortly after, both her brother and estranged husband were imprisoned for several months due to Vigée Le Brun's close ties to the former royal court. To ensure his safety and regain his assets, Jean-Baptiste chose to divorce her, leaving Vigée Le Brun unmarried for the rest of her life. Are you looking for a fun family board game that combines history and elegance? Look no further than Obsession. Embark on a captivating journey to mid-19th century Victorian England. As the head of a once troubled family estate, you will have the opportunity to revive its fortunes and secure your standing among the elite families of Derbyshire. In this immersive game of strategy and ambition, you will navigate 16 to 20 turns, carefully building up your Victorian gentry and acquiring building tiles from the bustling builders' market to renovate your estate. But that's not all. You must also skillfully manage your service staff, including butlers, housekeepers, and footmen. Host grand social events like fox hunts, music recitals, and grand balls to enhance your wealth, reputation, and connections with high society. As you progress, engage in thrilling courtship competitions to win the hearts of the country's most sought-after suitors. Immerse yourself in the opulent world of Obsession, where every decision shapes your estate's future and destiny among the British upper class. Experience the elegance and intrigue of a bygone era. Play now and see if you have what it takes to reign supreme in Derbyshire's elite circles. Click the link in the description to buy today. Late period. In June of 1800, Vigée Le Brun's name was finally removed from the list of émigrés, marking a significant milestone that paved the way for her return to France. This achievement was the result of persistent efforts by her family and ex-husband, who tirelessly campaigned for the restoration of her citizenship. After more than a decade spent abroad, she arrived back in Paris in 1802, eager to establish herself in her homeland. However, the French cultural landscape had undergone profound changes due to the Revolution and the rise of Napoleon, presenting challenges for the returning artist. Unlike her former colleague, Jacques-Louis David, who played a central role as a leading artist during the Napoleonic era, Vigée Le Brun found herself out of place in the court of a new ruler. Feeling uncomfortable, she announced plans for a 2-year journey to London and Berlin by the year's end. Madame Le Brun's return to England was met with acclaim, thanks to her established reputation, attracting numerous portrait commissions from the elite circles. Yet, despite her success, she faced criticism, notably from the lesser-known English portraitist and author John Hoppner. In the preface to his Oriental Tales, he offered harsh commentary on her and French painting in general, stating, "There are very indifferent pictures that still bear relation to good art, but I have no difficulty in affirming that the works of the present French school, whether they be painted by David or Madame Vigée Le Brun, do not." Hoppner also criticized her technique, her portrayal of various subjects, from fabric to furniture, and the high prices she charged, allegedly 3 times the rate of Sir Joshua Reynolds. Initially unaware of the situation due to her limited proficiency in English, Vigée Le Brun eventually learned of Hoppner's harsh critique. In response, she meticulously crafted a rebuttal, addressing each of his points with references to esteemed figures like Raphael and ancient Greek sculpture. She recounts this episode in her memoirs with a touch of dismissive irony, noting that her response did not go unnoticed by London society. She concludes with a pointed remark challenging one of Hoppner's criticisms of her technique, asserting that her mastery of drapery was evident to all. After her time in London, Vigée returned to France, where she purchased a country house and resumed her artistic endeavors by participating in the annual National Salon exhibitions. She also resumed hosting gatherings at her home. In 1813, her ex-husband, Jean-Baptiste, passed away. Sadly, her daughter, who ended up being separated from her husband, died in poverty in 1819. While the details of how and when Vigée Le Brun learned of her daughter's plight are unclear, she recounted the heart-wrenching experience in her memoirs, expressing her profound sense of helplessness in the face of her daughter's illness and lack of care. The following year brought further tragedy with the death of Elisabeth's brother. Reflecting on this period of profound loss, she expressed how the cumulative grief had taken a toll on her spirit, leaving her broken. She passed away in 1842 at the age of 86. Throughout her lifetime, she endured political upheavals and left behind a lasting legacy. Thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Then let me know which portrait is your favorite in the comments down below. Thank you everyone, and I'll see you in the next video.